Hello, this is Father Aaron Westman with the Glen Mary Home Missioners, and this is your Missioner Moment. My brothers and sisters, we as human beings love to make plans. We love to plan. I think sometimes we maybe even live to plan. Here's what I mean. We plan when we're going to get up in the morning. We plan when we're going to go to bed. We plan when we're going to take our medication. And we plan when we're going to eat our meals. We plan what we're going to eat for our meals. And we plan big events in our lives like weddings and anniversaries and oaths and ordinations. We plan for disasters. We plan for retirement. We even plan for our death with our funerals and taking care of our estate. We as human beings, in a sense, are kind of obsessed with making plans. And in a real sense, this isn't all that bad. We are called to be responsible. We're called to be good stewards. We're called to take care of the things that we have been given. And in one sense, I think all of these plans that we make is an attempt to be responsible. I think there's another side to the coin. I think that at some level, our kind of obsessiveness when it comes to planning is something more insidious. It's maybe our desire for control, for certainty, for making sure that everything that happens in our lives is the way that we want it to happen. Now, if we take a look at the scriptures, we see, in a sense, what God thinks of our plans. In the first reading from this weekend, David tells God his plans. David says to the prophet Nathan, I'm planning on building a temple for the ark, building a temple for God. And we would say, well, this is, actually quite a good aspiration. This is something that is really a good idea that David has. He seems to be kind of going out of himself and trying to do something good for God. But God responds quite interestingly. God says to David, you've got your plans, but let me remind you about something. I, God, was the one who chose you. I chose you out from being a shepherd to lead my people. I raised you up. I gave you the nations. I gave you victory over your enemies. I gave you this land. And then God says, I will do all of these other things for you. I will raise up an heir for you. I will raise up a dynasty for you. I will keep you safe. I will take care of you. In one sense, God says to David, you have your plans, not all that bad. I have my plans, and I will carry out my plans for you in your life. My brothers and sisters, we are celebrating the final days of the Advent season in preparation for Christmas. And I think when we think about our own plans in relationship to God's plans, why it's so important for us to try our best to see what God's plan is and to be open to God's plan is because of the following. We see in the Incarnation that God's plans for humanity, for Mary, for all of us, go far beyond anything we could ever imagine, dream of, or think of. God's plan is always so much better than we could ever anticipate. For God planned to give us his Son, who would save us from all things and be with us forever. As we move into this Christmas season, we might say, are we in a position to be able to respond to life like Mary did, and in the face of all of the plans that are around us, to think about God's plan and say, be it done unto me according to thy will, according to God's plan. May you be blessed this Advent and Christmas season.